Hello guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of seeing my channel, thank you for stopping by. So in this tutorial, we made a funnel corset. In my last video, I posted the drafting of the pattern for this funnel corset, and in this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to sew it. So let's get started. Okay, so I went ahead to add my interfacing to every part of the fabric, both the lining and the material, both the front and the back parts. So at this point, I'm going to be joining them together with the half an inch I kept at the side. I'm going to do that for all the patterns. So this is the back pattern. I've already gone ahead to join it, and I went to iron the seam open just like I did here. So after that, I took the funnel corset and I also ironed the seam open. Same thing with the bustier part. I also ironed the seam open. So the notice that on the bustier lining, I added wadding. I actually added it on the front part, but that was a mistake. So I corrected it here and I added it to the wadding. And now I want to mark the points for my bust caging. So I'm just going to mark at the top like this, just like I'm doing right now, leaving about half an inch, which I'm going to be using for the joining, and I'm going to take it down to the down part like this, marking it. These areas that I'm marking right now is the place I'll be putting my boning for the bust caging. And note, I'm using a ridge line bone for this, a sewable bone. Okay, so I also went to the midpoint where I have my nipple to nipple point, and I marked it straight down just like I did here. Then I came to the center part and marked a straight line, and I also marked two lines at the side. And after doing this, I'm good. Okay, so this is what I'll be using for my bust caging. If you are someone that is quite busty, you can actually add more lines to it, which you add your ridge line bone. So now I'm taking this to my machine, and I want to start by putting my ridge line bone facing the part that is curved to me. This is to help make it easy for you. So putting it there, I went ahead to sew it at the side where I had my joining allowance, and then after doing that, I also took it to the other part where I have my joining allowance, and I sew it at the two sides, that is at the two edge of the sewable bone, the part where it's very light and soft for you to sew. So I just sew it around from that point. So I did it for the first side where I had the joining, and I went over to the other side. So after doing this, I will just go ahead and add boning to every other part that I am marked. Okay, so at this point, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please ensure to subscribe to our channel, like and comment. Also help us share this video to other persons, and leave your notification bell turned on so that each time we upload new videos, you can always get notified. Okay, so after filling all the borage line bones around the areas, I brought it out and turned it the other way around. After doing this, I went ahead to take my scissors to trim out the excesses at the top, because I'll be joining that part with the bustier front. So I'm going to trim up that edge so that that place can be very light when I'm sewing. So I also went ahead to trim other areas, and then I took my tailor's ham and my iron, and I gave it a good press, making sure that it maintained the curve. That's why I'm using a tailor's ham to do this. So because I'm not using a steam iron, I went ahead to use water and my iron to do this. So what I did is I'll just sprinkle some water on it to help make it easy. So after that, I took my fiber. Okay, I took my fiber, I made the layers up to 4, giving it the level of thickness that I want it to have, because I didn't want it to be too hard. I want it to be a bit soft. So I went ahead to cut it out. Then what I did is that I sheared this fiber into 2 different halves so that I can apply them one after the other. So before applying that, I took my hemming gum and placed them around the bustier. So I don't have the bigger hemming gum. If you have the bigger one, makes it very easy for you, but I have the smaller one, which is about 1 inch wide. So I'm using this, and after doing this, I'm gonna give it a good press to allow it relax properly. So I'm using my water to also help make this very easy for me. That is, if you don't have a steam iron. If you have a steam iron, you don't need to do this. So now to apply the next layer of the fiber, I'm also going to go ahead and put the hemming gum on it. Then I went ahead to sprinkle some water and then press it. And after that, I went ahead to trim out the excesses that's there. I trimmed it out, and at this point I am done with my ironing. So what I did is I just make it very soft, like towards the surface, for it not to be too hard. I just touch it a bit, like bringing it out, bringing the foams a little bit out, not so much but so. Then after that, I took the front part of the bustier and I joined it right side facing right side, and I'm going to stitch it at the top all round so that I can turn it. After stitching it, I went ahead to turn it and place it properly on the bustier, and after that, this is what I have. Okay, so now I put the bustier aside and I brought the funnel corset, the main material, not the lining. So I'm trying to make markings on it for where I'll be putting my boning channels. So I took the center of the midpoint and I mashed it into two equal halves. I did the same thing at the top because they're not equal, and then I drew a straight line to meet there. This means that I'll be putting two boning channels in that middle. I'll be putting on top of the areas where I have my joining, and then the areas that I'm marking as well. So I shared them into two equal half just like I did. You can actually add more boning to the other side, that is the side of the materials, if you wish to, but this is how I want my own to be. So just like I'm doing, I'm also using a ridge line bone, a sewable bone, and I'm just going to cut some pieces which I'm going to use for my bias. You can actually use your iron to make this easy. And then this is how I'm going to be putting my boning channel. My boning is going to be showing at the top of the material, that is the sewing is going to be showing on top of it. So I'm going to do this like this and then turn it to the other way, which I'll still fold and then sew on top of it. So that's how I'm going to be applying the boning channels for every part of it, and I'm going to do that for everything. I also went ahead to do for the back. For the back, I use a plastic bone. I did not use the sewable bone, so I just create a channel and fix the bone inside of it. I didn't sew on top of the bone because it's a plastic bone. So after doing this, I also put ridgeline bone at the top of the funnel corset like I did right now. So I took it for ironing, and then I gave it a good press after stitching it together with the bustier. So after pressing it, it became stable and it was properly fixed. So ensure you press it very well so that it gives you the shape that you need. So for the joining, I joined the front part with the back part, and after joining it, I trimmed it out because of the excesses there, because I'm going to be covering that with my boning channel. So I sew it to the front and not to the back, so that I'm going to cover it from the front with my boning channel just like I'm doing right now. So I took it to my machine and I did cover it. Okay, so this is how I made my bias. I used my iron to make this bias, so I was going to use it as a pipe to pipe the top and the down as well. So before stitching the back and the front together, you can actually pipe the top of the funnel corset before doing that, or you can actually join them together then go ahead and pipe the front. So at this point, you are done with this tutorial. If you find this tutorial very helpful, please ensure to like, comment and share. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave your notification bell turned on. Okay, so mate, if you notice, I did some beadings at the top of the funnel corset. That is to give it a little bit of beauty. So you can actually do this, it's optional. If you don't want to, it's fine. Thank you for stopping by. See you in my next video.